even though Parasite was sitting around him, and he wasn't scared at all because he knew that Parasite will not be able to gank him unless he get that level 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Parasite struggled to get that level 6. He tried to do the early rotation and also dying. Getting three heroes dead at the first seconds of the game definitely doesn't make it any easier. But definitely completely different draft we're looking at here, and I'm excited. We got the big boy Tempest here. Um, just a game-changing hero in the sense, this is a completely different style too. He's a more passive jungler, but we all know what he's capable of as a hero. And I also love Meraxis, probably one of my favorite initiators here in the game. So I'm definitely a fan of their draft so far, and we all know about Boxy's Kinesis. What about Sync's draft?
Well, Midas Magnus Parasite. Well, on this draft, they just gonna secure the early and mid game, and this is so flexible draft here by Sync Esport that Magnus could be a second support, which is normally run onto Evil Corporation. In Evil Corporation, we see Nerd that doing second support most of the time, with heroes like Magnus, and sometimes Behemoth. Like, what I mean is that Magnus is a flexible. You don't know Sync Esport strategy yet, where that Magnus is gonna be, for example.
Right, and that definitely plays into the draft. We saw that paying attention to what your other team is doing can really make the game go sour for you. That Mage Bane pickup after the Doctor Repulsor kind of made the difference, really. Because even with a bad start, if that was really any other carry, they might have still had a chance, but it was just obvious that he was never going to be able to hold up to him. So definitely they're going to pay attention to the picks they make and try to make your draft as unobvious as possible. That being said, they're going to ban out Clank, Silhouette, and Dr. Pulsars. Lap says, I definitely know what kind of hero you want a ranged carry, and I'm going to take out the best ones I can think of. Fusen, on the other hand, is going to ban out Moira, Mage Bane again, a little bit of reactionary ban, and then Arachna, who's just really strong lately in any kind of laning environment. So
Well, when Slab is banning Clank, Silhouette, and Dr. Puzzle, he's pretty much telling BMG that I don't wanna try lane against you guys. Because these three heroes are, like, not so easy, but you could hunt them down as a try lane.
yeah, and yep. I mean, with the Tempest pickup here, I mean, would they still run a tri lane?
Well, it's not the best idea, but I gotta say, if they wanna run Magnus as a suicide or mid, they will not be able to get something like Pharaoh, but they indeed could go for something like Andromeda, for example, or Rhapsody to just counter a bit of that Tempest over there.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely what the Andromeda is here, and the Parasite is also strong in itself. If you can somehow find a Skeleton King at the right time, I mean that makes up for it. Pretty rare chances, but at the same time, I mean, Sync now, all they got left is to pick a carry, and
Well, they don't need to hurry with that carry because there is just like Puppet Master still open, Dark Lady, like it could be even Soul Stealer or Swift Blade with BMG, and I feel like there are just plenty of carries over there are open, so they didn't need to run it here as a fourth pick.
yeah,
I,
that's
I,
true.
I feel like heroes like Glacius or
There we go.
Rhapsody
I
could
like
be.
Glacius.
Well, I love it too. Like Glacius here is just a pure counter to that Parasite, and Magnus will not be able to do anything, and Midas will not be able to escape when he's getting a freeze, but he will be able to drop his combo.
Yes, that is true. Sorry, I was kind of just adjusting this volume a little bit here. And they grabbed the Chronos, so we're gonna see a not suicide. We're gonna see a farmed Chronos played by Haxorin. Yes, finally. With the recent
Oh,
buffs to Curse of Ages, hell yeah,
that's a
man.
surprise.
I'm glad to see it. I mean, the heroes too. I mean, with Andromeda on your team, it makes the Chrono field more versatile, and yeah, Midas Magnus also. They combo well with that. It's not the all-in ultimate, but
Well, When it comes
So,
to Sync Esport over there, they don't have the best farming capability because I don't think that Kronos is going for Rune Dex by any chance. Because like we stopped seeing the Rune Dex on the Kronos or Swift Blade for quite a while on the
well,
on this meta.
it's true,
Don't
but
you
what's
think?
become more popular is the Thunderclaw, and I could definitely see a Thunderclaw picked up on him.
Yes, indeed. I agree with you with that.
Yeah, but also, I mean, Kronos, that's just another way to interrupt a Tempest ultimate. Looking at that, too. What? All right. Carry Scout? I mean, it's got to be. That's a hard carry Scout going to be played by Baltazar. And we saw, I don't remember who it was, but we saw a team try this. Yeah, Fresh tried to run a carry Scout, yeah, on Thursday, and it didn't pan off. They tried to have him solo safe lane against a Suicide Hero and ended up going not so well for him. But look at these two carry heroes. I'm going to be more excited for this game coming up right now. Definitely not your ordinary drafts.
Well, I really love the scout over there. I really do. Like to begin with, he's just good counter to that Kronos. As soon as that Kronos ran out of his ulti, like what he can do to that scout, he will not be able to do anything. And on top of that, when Kronos jump in, that scout could just interrupt him from dropping his ulti if he has a electric eye, for example, on the ground.
Yeah, and I wonder if the scout's gonna go. I know one time we seen him a long time ago with the use of electric eyes. I mean, it's overlooked in like public games, but the potential in a competitive game for that amount of vision all around the map and the silence, uh, and I'm hoping we get a lot of use out of that too, counter warding and all that. The hero is definitely has his strong points. They're gonna spot out Balthazar's Ward here right away. So Sync's definitely on top of that. It's going to make the suicide lane here just a little bit harder for Boxy. But a very competent suicide player. I think he was one of the first players we ever seen run Kinesis and make the hero popular using the lift to kind of keep the lane from pushing and just in general. It's just,
Well, Boxy have a great history with this hero on the suicide. I gotta say, whenever he play the Kinesis on the suicide, he's showing us amazing performance and amazing gameplay.
it is. He's definitely an innovator in that sense. And I can't tell you, I mean, there's times we've seen him dominate in this lane as a suicide, getting kills, kill streaks, and I don't want to jinx him here or put any pressure on him here, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it. And you can see him using that lift to control the lane. It's just brilliant play. We're going to see Meraxes versus Midas in mid, which is definitely not the easiest lane for Make, but with the buffs to the axes recently, I think he'll still be able to farm a bit. And then Magma's Suicide against the Scout Glacius. So,
Well, that Magnus got a Marcher, so he's not gonna contest on this lane
ooh,
quite long.
bottom
He will
lane though,
just
Kinesis overstaying his welcome here. Kronos putting in the body blocks while Andro does the work putting in the auto attacks. One more auto attack. They're going to get a bloodlust kill. And Poxy, I think we did put a little jinx on him there. He got a little overconfident. But at least when he comes back, he should have fairly good lane control and get a little more experience. And up top lane, Magnus is going to be in trouble here. So
well. Speaking of that Magnus, he will just get the level 3 or at maximum level 4 or 5,
whoops.
and he will just leave the lane because he just got the Marcher over there to make sure that he will be able to rotate and pressure the other lanes because he got such a strong heroes on the other lanes like Kinesis and Moraxis. It is easy for him to rotate to make kills with these two heroes.
oof. Just realized I
Let's get it
Honcast
on.
chat, don't yell at me because I forgot the overlay, but I just fixed it a minute into the game. So there we go. Sorry about that, Abu. I missed your statement there for a second. I was a little bit distracted. What were you
It's
saying?
not the biggest deal. You can just skip it.
Okay. Get back into the action here. Yeah, so, I mean, definitely Magnus is going to be struggling up here. And now Fusen takes out his only ward, so we're going to see him start to rotate. But yeah, Baltazar already has an electric eye on top lane, gonna give vision to Meraxis, so that'll help him out against the Midas here.
Well, I really love the gold used on BMG. They don't have a rune ward, they just have electric eye, and they just save the gold onto that fusion, and they just give that kinesis a lot of things.
Yeah, they definitely gave him the tools to succeed, and he's making a decent comeback. He gave up Bloodlust. You know, there's no coming back from that amount of advantage you give away, but at the same time, I mean, he's managed to get level 2. He's almost level 3 now. I think we could see him recover here. And I mean, BMG, they're gonna have to do good in all their lanes because they have Tempest. He's probably not gonna be active too early. Maybe at level 6 we see a rotation. There goes Kinesis manning up against Andromeda, just trading auto attacks there.
Well, on this game, I really would love to see a tablet, Astrolabe into that Tempest, because the Legion team, as I said, they are going to go for early and mid game. I'm not saying they don't have the late game. They do if they win the mid game. But if the mid game is equal, or for BMG, when it comes to heroes, BMG have the upper hand over there.
So who do you want to get a tablet? To counter the Tempest or on the Tempest?
Well, a tablet on that Tempest could just tablet the scout out from the Kronos ultimate, which really need to be done.
So just make sure that Sync wants to make sure that Sync can't snowball mid game by countering. Yeah, I could definitely see that's a, if that's Sync's game plan, that would be a good counter for it for sure. Oh, and the Kronos rewind. In before I'm saying it now, Kronos saved from Scout Ultimate by rewind. At least one per game.
Well, that rewind, I gotta say, if you get lucky, then it is almost impossible. Like, you get killed.
Yeah, rewind, it's been the many of heartbreaks to the enemy team. But then there's also those games, that's why it's an RNG. I mean, there's also those games where you don't rewind anything. It's like, come on, can I get one rewind? But I mean, already he just rewound a full telekinetic control.
Don't you think that the chance of rewind at level 4 is quite high? Like 25?
Yeah, I think it's 25%. It is pretty high.
Like, if you get a heal, I mean, sorry, a life steal, and on top of that a rewind, there is almost no chance for anyone to kill you by just auto attacking.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's one of the main things about the hero that make him what he is. He doesn't have a lot of active abilities. He's just reliant on those passives and doing things like that.
Well, speaking of mid...
Oh, yeah, look at Midas pushing up here. He's in a dangerous position. Boxy's rotated over, as well as Glacius. He's only got level 1, but the Ice Imprisonment might be enough to do the trick. Here comes the Stasis Smash. They're going to stagger their stuns perfectly here and lock down Masera. That was well played by BMG, but what is Masera doing that far up?
Well, he got overcommitted. Due to that, he got a haste on his bottom.
So you feel, yeah, you feel like he's got the ace in his back pocket. Yeah. Well, that was brilliantly played. I mean, the Quake stun is a long stun, but still to time everything perfectly like that to make sure that, because if he got a warp off, he was probably going to live, like you said, with the haste. So that definitely wasn't a free kill, but it's something that they needed. And now Boxy's going to come all the way up top, start pulling, and get a little farm here. Can't argue with that. I think it's a fairly good rotation since Glacius is bouncing around mid.
Well, he's gonna get his ultimate out of that pull.
Ooh, Magma's grabbing the Invis rune, but they know it, and that's the most important part. They're aware of the Invis rune Magnus, and maybe they'll play a little bit more cautiously here. Tempest level 7. He rushed that Arcane Ring, a Ring of Sorcery, so on top of the Chilling Presence once he gets that, Hellborn team shouldn't have any kind of mana problems going into team fights here.
Well, that Magnus is just giving a lot of information for Sync Esport.
Yep, that's true. He's still scouting here. He's going to try to pick off an elemental replicate and get a little farm and slow down Tempest if he can. Not too big of a worries, though. But you can see Kronos is, surprisingly, he's pushing hard into this tower. I'm not sure if he's looking to fully kill it.
Well, he
Maybe,
just pretty much forcing Kinesis to come back into the lane because that Kinesis has a lot of damage. He could kill anyone.
Uh-oh. They're lined up here in mid to pick off on Midas again. Let's see if Midas gets... Oh, here goes. The Stasis Smash is going to teleconnect lift. Follow up with the Quake Stun. He activates his Matrax. That's enough damage to kill Macera once again. Chrono says, well, if you don't want to stop me, I'm going to take this free tower here. But again, this is...
Just see that damage?
Whew. Yeah, that was
insane.
That was a pretty big explosion. The Matrix got full, you know, they stunned him long enough where it just exploded all over him. But I think, you know, you said the change they had to do is when they do the train and start setting up ganks to make it worth their while. I'd say BMG is definitely doing that this game.
Yeah, they are getting the best out of it from these ganks, which is really good for them.
And their scout is still farming at the exact same pace as Kronos, and that's without anybody really supporting him. He's pretty much been alone there for the most part. So I think that's one of. I mean, Kronos been alone too, but it's definitely working for BMG. Uh-oh, Fusen puts a ward down here. It's in range of Slap's counter ward.
But he cannot see it.
Yeah, he can't see it, but he somehow knows it's there.
Well, speaking of a scout on the top, Magnus is.
Uh-oh, the Tempest ultimate. Magnus can't even get a Lava Surge out of there. And Midas is going to try to clean up, though. Scout taking a lot of damage. I don't think he's going to survive this one. Oh, he gets the invisibility off. The double damage Midas just can't get the job done. And BMG using that Tempest ultimate to get a kill here or there. I don't think that you can ask for more than that. I hate when they kind of just wait for that huge 5-man ult. I'd much rather them get that cooldown used at least a couple times early game.
Well, I gotta say, Balthazar is doing a phenomenal job over there. Like he has the same gold as Kronos, even though he doesn't have a tower yet.
That you're right. There's no towers down for the Hellborn team, so in favor of the Hellborn team yet. But that top tower should go down shortly, and I mean, if they get any. Oh, wow, Kronos getting dropped really low there by Kinesis. Unfortunately, Kinesis is out of health and mana. He is going to have to fall back here.
Well, about that top lane, I'm pretty sure that if Midas just chill around on the top, there is no way that the BMG is going to drop the top tower so easily.
That's true, but I mean, he's got a little bit of a push here going, depending. I'm not sure if he's any rush to get it killed, but the sooner they get a little bit more gold onto Meraxis and he gets that portal key, they're going to have a lot of easy targets. Midas, you know, is the only one who can really survive an initiation from Meraxis at this point. I think there's a lot of well, Kronos too, but point being, if Meraxis wants to, he can find a lot of kills, I think.
Well, I believe when Meraxis is going to rotate with that BK, Scout is just, or Glacier is just going to follow him in order to secure these kills. Or maybe BMG is going to force team fights.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see right now Kinesis activating the Veiled Rot. His ultimate's up in 10 seconds. He's already about to make something happen, as well as Scout in the area. And I like the target they're choosing here. Midas, not the easiest kill, but if you bring enough, he's probably one of the most valuable kills. You slow him down from getting his portal key, and Sync loses a big part of their team fight potential. Ooh, look at Magnus. How the Kinesis did get revealed. He didn't realize it. Did he think he had an invis and forget it was a Veiled Rot? Something bad just went on there.
Well, I gotta say, there are two key heroes on Sync Esport. That is the Midas and the Parasite. If BMG lock down one of these, Sync Esport is going to struggle in the mid game. Because if that Kronos is just wombo combo pretty much. He's not going to bring so much damage on the early or mid game.
Right, absolutely correct. So I mean, the Parasite, he's farming great, but his impact has not been that, you know, there. Whereas Tempest, the one you wouldn't expect, has already gotten a kill, and still he's almost ahead of Zlapt, you could say at this point. So
Like I gotta say, at this point, this parasite will be able to get something like sheep steak on the late game because he's having a great farm, even though he doesn't have a lot of kills. But as soon as he have that puzzle box, we are going to see something else.
yeah, and the puzzle box definitely gives him a lot of versatility. But you can see Hellborn team's grouping up top here to set up the push. They want this tower gold. And Meraxis has his portal key being delivered, I imagine. He's spent all his money. And Tempest has the portal key too. So if they decide to defend this... Oh man, here comes the God Hole. I'm calling it right now. He's going to catch Kronos, Magnus, and Andromeda. But Midas is here. He gets a huge combo off. And it's going to be enough to kill off Tempest and Scout. But Meraxis just in time gets his stun off. Now Midas is running away. Glacius forced to hide into the jungle. Now he comes out as he's ready to fight. And it's a genocide coming out for the Hellborn team.
That was indeed a God hole.
Woo. It was all lining up. He went a little bit early, but I think it's because he didn't want any damage coming out beforehand. So,
Well,
woo.
there is like 5 seconds in order to 2B to the first tower, and that Tempest just went a little bit too early, but it was all good.
Yeah, there was the main thing was his guy was I don't know who it was, but there was still somebody fighting before the ports came in. So I can't argue with it. It ended up working out in the end. Midas almost saved it, but that Meraxis to come in and clean it up. Definitely an awesome team fight that you would expect out of the hero selections that we see here. But this puts BMG in a really comfy, snug little position where, you know, I feel like they're dictating the pace of the game right now.
Well, speaking of tablets which they need, the Kinesis got it.
Oh, here comes a Chronos ult. He did get the Thunderclaw, so he's putting some serious damage into Tempest, but here comes the team to save him, and Chronos is going to eat a lot of damage. Parasite does enough damage to finish him off, but here comes the Matrax ultimate. He's body blocking with those puzzle box minions, and the Andromeda swap's going to get Parasite to save his life. What a huge save by Serenia there. Oh my god.
Well, that was really well played from both teams.
That's
Not the best trade for BMG, but they got something out of it after all.
It did. That's serious, though. Top level play there. Andromeda in the right place at the right time. Now, Scout has the electric eye here if he wants to summon. Oh, Andromeda, though, overstaying her welcome at the bottom lane. And the burst damage by Kinesis is insane. Press 5 on your menu. 36% hero damage at 14 minutes in the game, and it shouldn't be a surprise, but that's still a lot. I mean, that's almost half.
Well, if the game just keep going just like this, Sync Esport will lose it because that Scout is out farming the Chronos, and that Rund Egg is just having more capability than the Thunderclaw over there.
I mean, what does Scout need? Shrunken Head, Brutalizer, stuff like that, or?
Well,
I mean, he's a hard carry, so maybe something more expensive than a Brutalizer. But the Shrunken Head, you think that's going to be core for him?
well, there are 4 heroes that do a lot of magic damage, so he indeed needs a Shrunken Head over there, especially when Magnus get.
Oh, here comes the initiation, but there's ready to counter it. Midas comes in. They're going to put a lot of damage. Morexus had the Matrax up, so he didn't take any of it. And now they're going to look to get the counter kill. It's a 4 versus 3 right now. Magnus channeling the Eruption, but they fell back, so he's unable to get in range and do any damage. Now comes the counter initiation onto Midas. They're going to drop down, and Tempest joining the party here. Stasis Smash onto Andromeda. They're going to pop him down really quickly. And this is just the opposite of what we've seen last game. BMG taking it up to 11
That was
in
well
game 2
played
here.
by that Meraxis. That was really well played
Oh
there.
my god. Absolutely. And a misplay by Magnus. You know, he thought they were going to chase him. They didn't. And yeah, they played that absolutely flawlessly. They're going to get a tower as a result. They didn't even have to use the Tempest ultimate, which means, I mean, they can push a tier 2 here, can't they?
I don't.
Like as long as Midas is alive, it's going to be so hard. So I don't think so. But you know, 1 minute ago, BMG had 4,000 gold lead. Now it is 7,000, and the gold lead is gonna increase for BMG due to that they have better farming capability when it comes to heroes.
That is true. And then now they're starting to pick up all those towers as well. It's going to add up here. Look at Scout and Viz right on top of Kronos here. Oh, he didn't get the electric eye off, and Kronos forced to use his ult here, but they're going to go in on him anyways. Channeling the ult on the Scout. No rewinds in sight. Kronos taking a lot of damage. He does get a rewind here, and his TP is coming off the background. And the Tempest ultimate with the Glacial Downpour. Parasite can't do anything. Magnus falls as well, and that's 3 kills for the Hellborn team. You cannot stop BMG right now. They are one step ahead. I feel like this is like a chess match.
Well, that was a hardcore from BMG.
Oh man, the plays, they got the portal keys on all of their heroes that they needed. And that's why Glacius is such a strong support. In that situation, without the downpour, that would have just been like a 3-second disable for the Tempest ult. But he put out massive damage.
Well, as you see so far, BMG is forcing that Andromeda to use her swap, not to counter that Tempest, because she is getting forced to save her teammates, you know.
Right.
And that is just giving the Tempest the space, the timing to use that ultimate pretty damn well.
Yeah, they have definitely been on point, and that's a good point that I hadn't really noticed. I mean, the Andromeda was one of the main reasons they picked her was to stop the Tempest ult. She hasn't been able to do that. And even Kronos having to use his ultimate defensively. You know, it's just, if they were winning, their spells would be much more useful. But since they're kind of fighting an uphill battle here, it just makes it even worse. And this Scout, he hasn't even really had an impact in the game, but he's going to be deadly really soon.
Well, he is sitting on 500 gold per minute, so he must be feeling so damn good. We might see Geo Bane onto that Scout in this game. What do you think with that Firebrand?
Well, I guess he can't go wrong. I mean, I think that I would have prioritized the Shrunken Head just in case. But yeah, I'm not a Balthazar, so.
Well, BMG is on the lead on this game, and when you're on the lead, you don't need that Shrunken Head pretty much, because you just have enough surviving capability, and you could do things on the team fight without that Shrunken Head.
It's true. He's but 5% damage, so I guess it still works out. Maybe he's just going to look to get little picks off here and there, but he's got to be careful. Parasite's going to have the puzzle box that will reveal him. So, you know, if he tries to be sneaky and then there happens to be Parasite nearby, he will drop quickly. But
we might see initiation from Magnus on the top. Well, never mind.
Keep an eye on there. He doesn't even have his portal key yet.
Yeah, but still, since
yeah.
he got the right angle after all.
It is true, you're right. But I don't think Meraxis is the one he wants to initiate on. Plus, if he gets in the wrong spot, Balthazar has an eye right nearby to drop that silence, too. Look at Balthazar stealing the double-stacked Ancients on Legion side. And the Hellborn just stole the Legion. Legion stole the Hellborn Ancients. Let's see.
Scout got the orb there.
I think he nailed it with Kronos' farming capability. It's just showing here. Oh, Magnus did go in, but Scout and Meraxis cleaning him up. But yeah, you nailed it. Kronos doesn't have that farming potential. Even with the Thunderclaw, he's just not getting it done.
Well, I gotta say, it is so important for that Kronos. When you get for that Thunderclaw, it is so important to take these team fights and get the best out of it. But they don't have that team fights that they should do, and they're just getting out of handed.
Oh, here goes. They're gonna find Parasite in the jungle here over at mid, putting in the auto attacks. They haven't really committed anything but a couple of right clicks. Will they get the? They're gonna get the kill with no contention. Andromeda didn't want to waste her swap there, and Sync can't be too happy about that. Now Meraxis is gonna find Andromeda anyways. The Scout ultimate doing additional damage. Sync's probably come back from many 15,000 gold deficits, but the momentum is very, very in favor of BMG right now.
Like, I gotta say something. When you pick a hero like Kronos, you are picking him for combo wombo
destroyed a Legion
strat
tower.
over there. Okay, not just AFK farming with Rune X, but on the other hand, when it comes to Scout, he's not a combo hero. Like they are just picking him to just secure the late game pretty much.
Right. Yep. But his eyes definitely helped early game where Meraxis struggled. That rune control gave him the little bit of upper hand to transition into a better laning phase, I think.
That's true.
And here we go. Glacius taking on a Magnus, but Kronos here. Yeah, I guess Meraxis was nearby, but...
A double damage on Scout.
Ooh, there is double damage on Scout. Let's keep an eye on this, as there's not too many heroes he can't one-shot tap right now.
Or he could kill anyone pretty much.
Yep. Meraxis with an invisibility rune here, the double tag team, but they're right into Serenia's Revelation Ward. They don't know they were spotted. Magnus going to get the double lineup stun. Magnus kind of just watching here. He's, oh my god, just one auto attack away. That could have been devastating if not for that Ward of Rev for Sync's side, but luckily, Born gets away.
I gotta say, Sync Esport is a little bit frustrated over there. Like, that was... Like, they could use the Magnus Eruption over there and...
Yeah, he had no mana.
I don't know, I feel like at least they could get one of these two.
Yeah, they definitely should have. If Sync should have gotten both there. They had people in the area, but I think it was one of those things that it happened so quickly that they just weren't ready. Now here they come again, walking by the Rev Ward. I'm surprised Scout hasn't dropped an eye there. He knows that they had some sort of vision. But I think they're going to be going for Kongor here. Feeling confident enough in their teamfight ability with a Tempest ult and a Meraxis ult. I can't argue with that. I don't think Sync wants to take this team fight at all. Magnus still level 10.
Well, speaking of the Scout, it seems he went for Geobane after all.
Right, and I mean, that's what I assumed he was going for. It didn't make a ton of sense to me, but...
Well...
I imagine if a Kronos initiates on you and you popped it right away, Kronos might not know who's the real Scout. But...
There is no reason to go for that Geobane other than it's good on the late game to counter that Kronos.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
All right.
And,
well, let's
and think about it. These illusions, they got the third spell, the illusions.
the disarm spell. Okay.
Yeah, they could look down.
Oh, Meraxis top though. He's gonna get locked down here. He gets the shrunken head off and his ultimate. He's gonna live. I don't believe it. Magnus falls. Midas is gonna fall shortly after. The only one that gets away is Andromeda. They can't even 3 versus 1 Meraxis at this point. He's got 2,000 health. Holy crap. I mean, that hero, man.
This is just the opposite of the first game.
It is. It's a complete mirror match, and I mean, BMG desperately needed this win. Not that Sync didn't want it, but I mean, they're showing their true colors. Here comes the silence off on a Parasite with the disarm. Tempest trying to get in range to drop off that Q spell. He can't get in range, I suppose, or he just didn't want to overcommit. But now here comes Andromeda, gonna Aurora the area. Fusen's got that Ward of Sight down. Maybe that was the most important thing.
Well, Scout now got 4,000 gold saved up. What do you think his next item is gonna be?
I still think he just need... I mean, he's got the token. They have plenty of damage coming out just between Kinesis and Meraxis. I would like the Shrunken Head just because get it out of the way. You know, better to be alive than dead because you can't do any damage. But he can't go wrong, I think.
Well, I would love to see Codex on this matchup, man.
A Codex Scout?
Yep. Like, that is popular as ganking a Scout or matchmaking, and I know that it's not the best build, but it's fun to see after all.
Yeah, that is true. If there's the one team you don't want to do something crazy against, though, it is Sync. I definitely think that they gotta keep playing smart. And if you're gonna go Codex, you need to save up 7 or 8K and just go straight Codex level 5, and just one-shot Andromeda.
Well, that would be fun to see anyway.
I'm with you on that one. And in the meantime, he's just gonna hold on to the gold. And here comes the initiation onto Parasite, who just happened to get. Oh man, that is one of the points. Meraxis got that Alk Bones here, and aside, people get it on Meraxes all the time lately. I'm not sure exactly why it's so great, but in this game against the Parasite, it's just even more utility. And look at the Geometer's Banes with the Rune Cleaver just pushing that lane up top. I mean, Scout's snowballing out of control here, as well as his team just taking over the match. I think that's always the best feeling when you're a carry and you haven't had the biggest impact, but your team is still somehow wrecking 4 versus 5.
Well, at this point, you see that Sync Esports is losing the map control overall. They just cannot push any lanes. That Scout is making such a pressure in every single lane, and on top of that, he got a token 1 minute, so we might see BMG trying to break a base over there.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see that. Make it exciting here. Give Sync some kind of chance. Go ahead and take an aggressive push. I mean, though the late game is ultimately in Hellborn's favor, it would be smart to kind of sit back. But yeah, I think if you take the fight now,
well,
you got a good chance of ending the game.
That Scout got first wolf. And it seems that BMG is not gonna break the base because, after all, they're so split up on the map.
Doot. Little pressure bottom here from the Scout Illusions and Kinesis nearby. Kinesis going pretty much like a full mobility build, but getting that tablet against Kronos, definitely awesome pickup. And I don't know, let's see. I mean, they're gonna slowly start wearing down here. There's not much else they can do. They can farm the map, completely control, have these wards up, so if Sync even tries to leave the base for a split second, you know, they can just group and collapse on it. And Meraxis is already looking for a kill up top.
Well, as you see, that Scout is pushing mid and bottom all the time, and no one is getting in his way. Because they know that it's impossible to kill that Scout when he got a token at first wolf, but on the
Legion side, this is their where they make their stand. Unfortunately, they're just gonna find a bunch of Tempest elementals and completely give away what they're doing. Parasite gonna get spotted out by Meraxis. I'm pretty sure he saw him there. But look at the base. Scouts pushing mid, Kinesis pushing bottom, while Sync all-ins here. It's some type of desperation attempt at a team fight. Magnus with a good startup stun. They're going to lock down Tempest. That's key. That's pretty crucial there. They're going to prevent any kind of Tempest ult, force Meraxis into using his Shrunken Head early. And here comes the Kronos ultimate. No, oh my god, that Kinesis putting out massive damage. No rewind for Kronos. And here comes the turn. Just like that, they had post-haste. They got back in the fight. Baltazar going ham right now. And that's the concede vote. Glacius cleaning up the mess with a little bit of downpour. Holy moly.
That Tempest just bought back in order to make sure that they will win this team fight.
80 buyback. And that's it. The buyback post-haste. Get the job done. Damn, that was an interesting game there. I know it was kind of one-sided. And, you know, it might not seem like the best game. But, I mean, to make the series end 1-1 and show that both of these teams deserve to be in the playoffs, I can't ask for a better series coming out from these guys. Any other thoughts on that matchup here, or both teams here?
Well, I think both teams just played so damn good. Unfortunately, there wasn't competing into this game. I mean, the game just looks like one-sided.
It was. I'll give you that.
For the first game and for the second game. And as I said, I'm looking forward to see Complexity and Evil Corporation, because I believe it is going to be so exciting.
Yeah. Well, you know, those guys are playing tomorrow, but later today we have Complexity in 2-0. As if that's the game you're talking about, that's coming up. Yep, that's coming up later today. But absolutely, both matches were one-sided. But as a series, I mean, they ended up being 1-1. So, you know, I'm always all for seeing some really good execution. And BMG was flawless here. Boxy giving up the Bloodlust, making the comeback. Huge Tempest ultimates, and Meraxis initiations were just amazing. So I'm still excited with what we saw here. But yeah, I mean, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna go to a quick break since that one wrapped up a little bit quicker than normal. But coming up is going to be Fresh versus 2-0. That's 14 o'clock Eastern and 20 for CST. So guys, stay tuned. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us, Abu. Definitely glad to have you here as a co-caster and the insight that you're offering. We're going to take a short break, guys. Stay tuned.